Welcome to this video on the topic of vectors. In this video, we're going to have a look at how we can use our technology to assist us in calculating the magnitude of any given vector. Now, the magnitude of a vector simply describes the vector's length. Now, consider the graph shown over here. We have point P, which is being positioned in three-dimensional Cartesian space. Point P is defined as -3, 2, and 2. What we want to do is we want to determine the length of the would-be position vector. The positional vector being the position of point P relative to the origin. This would look something like the vector shown here. Now, this particular vector is simply defined as OP, denoted as such. So point P is simply a point in space. OP is the position of P relative to the origin. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at how we can determine the length or the magnitude of vector OP, firstly using our manual calculation, and then how we can automate this using our technology. Now, first thing we need to do this is we need to define the positional vector OP. Next step is we simply apply Pythagoras' theorem in 3 dimensions, and then we say up we come to our calculators. We're going to run matrix mode and we simply input this. Execute, and lo and behold, we see that the magnitude of this particular vector here is equal to √17 units. Now, this is the manual way in which we do this, even though we're using our calculator. But using our calculator, we also have a feature built into here that allows us to automate this particular calculation shown over here. Now, the way in which we do this is we go to our top menu in Run Matrix by clicking Exit a few times, and then we click on F3 to get into Map Vect. From there, we may have to press F6 to move across from matrices into vectors. You can go back and forth by F6 here. Next, we pick our first available slot. We dimension it as 3x1, and then we simply input our positional vector here. So -3, 2, and 2. After this, I click Exit twice. From here, I press Option, I go to Map Vect, F2, and then I'm going to go across 1, 2, 3 times to get into Norm. From there, I click F6 1, 2, 3 times, and I click F1 for Vect, Alpha, and then A, because that's where I put my vector in memory. I close it off, I hit Execute, and lo and behold, it spits out the value that we calculated here. So what this function allows us to do is to easily calculate the magnitude of a vector using our technology, which relieves us of the potential of making clerical errors, so input errors, or simply just putting it in wrong. Alright, so that's example 1. The length of this particular vector here is √17 units. Now, what about if it's presented in a different form? Suppose we want to calculate the length of vector B, which is defined as 2i minus j plus 2k. What we need to do for this one is first we need to set ourselves up for success by writing it as a vertical vector. To do this, I know that the i's represent the x's, the j's represent the y's, and the k's represent the z's, so I, j, k. Thus, putting this in, I discovered that it's going to be 2 minus 1, 2. Calculating the length of this guy, I simply go B as such, and because I'm going to use my technology for this, all I need to do is I simply go to the top menu, go down to vector B, input it as a 3x1, and I simply throw this vector in as shown, so 2 minus 1, 2. Exit, exit. I can go up, I can get rid of this line here if I feel like it. And then I can simply modify this line to now be vector B, so I don't have to go through all those steps again. I click Execute, and lo and behold, it tells me that the length of this particular vector here is 3 units. Or, in more precise terms, the magnitude of vector b is equal to 3 units. So in summary, what we had a look at in this video was how we can use our technology to automate the process of calculating the magnitude of a vector.